Right, we should be live now if anybody can hear us. Richie, hello. How are you?
Garden, my man.
Good, good, good. Let's get
I'm
me
good.
dodgy specs on. We've got people in the chat already. Got 19 people waiting for us. Hello, D Hall, Trisha, Win Stanley. There were moderators in. She says, no rush. I'm ready. I'm waiting. Show chat. The advert comes on. David Joblin, good evening. Good evening to Andrew Moore. How are you doing? Ian Brown, hello. Good to see you all. Richie, what you been up to much?
Just putting up with the heat.
Short.
And I'm a lot happier now. It's cooled down a bit, so I just spent a bit of time at the weekend down the coast, and then I hid in for the rest of the weekend, because it was just unbearable. Like I'm not built for 30-degree heat. Like I don't know about you, mate, but it just doesn't sit with me well. But apart from that, I'm really good, mate. How's yourself?
Aye, spot on, mate. Spot on. I don't know if you want to adjust your volume a little bit. Can you turn it up a bit?
Turn my volume up.
Just a little bit. If you can't,
Any better?
Eh?
Is that any better?
That's better, right? It's a little bit better, mate. It's a little bit better. David Walker, how you doing? D Hall, hello. So yeah, I mean, plenty of speculation and on transfer stuff. I know people keep on. There's still messages saying like, "Oh, it's clickbait and stuff." It's not clickbait. I never do stuff like that. It destroys your channel. It's no point doing it. I just report what I see and what I hear on the radio, anything like that. And what I'm posting is true. It's like people might do it for clickbait. I know there's a lot of people do, and I just think it's sad and it's not the way to get your sort of channel to grow. But
let's be honest, Cabbie. Not everybody gets to see the speculation. You know what I mean? So you're doing it for people out there who don't have the time to even have a look to see what the crack is. You know what I mean? They might be on the lunch break and just watch one of your videos. So that's all good, man.
Well, they say, stop posting your videos about these transfer rumours. Only post it when it's got the scarf above your head. Well, if that was the case, you'd never have any news anywhere. That's part and parcel of it, to create interest, to see who we're looking at.
Exactly.
Hello, Colin Major. How are you doing, lad? Hope you are well. Good to see you as well. D Hall says most of us enjoy the transfer rumours, mate. Didn't worry. Yeah, like you could save somebody's life, and someone will complain. I'm just sending Kev Atkinson a link.
Kev on. Probably though the thing is, though, like we are just linked with a million and one different players at the minute. Like it is getting a bit exhausting. Like it's where did they get these rumours from, though? You know what I mean? Maybe one or two of them we might be able to sign them, but it's going to be like till the end of the transfer window. I think we're just going to be linked with every single one out there that's up for transfer. You know what I mean? Who's listed? Who's non-listed?
Well, yeah, that's part and parcel of it. Exactly. What's your carry on? What do you think about this Dennis Cirkin? With Tottenham sniffing around.
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't like to lose Dennis Cirkin. I think he's got a very bright future, and I think he'll develop into a decent left back. He's got the ability to go forward and defend at the same time. But if we get offered something like 30 million for him, I don't think we're going to turn that money down. I'd much prefer to keep him, but you know what I mean? It depends who else is available out there. If they've got an idea of somebody that might be able to replace him, then fair enough. But make sure we get the right amount of money from him.
No, I know it's all right. We'll take this and we'll take that, but at the end of the day, we've still got to strengthen our squad. I know I keep saying like there's plenty of time yet. I mean, there's very little of any players coming in at the minute. But you know, the transfer window did close, didn't it, because of this this Club World Cup carry on. Gazza's just popped in and says, personally, I don't think Sunderland stay up. I think all three teams that went up will struggle, says Gazza. Good to see you in anyway. I mean, if like I say, if this is the new trend, that the three teams that go up come straight back down again, it's going to get a very boring Premier League, isn't it? You know, what fun is that for any neutral watching? The fact like the bottom three are down with 2 months to spare. It's not going to do the league any good at all. You want a bit of competition. You want a bit of excitement. I ain't just saying that because Sunderland are in there. It's like, even when we're not in the Premier League, I like to see a battle. I like to see a bit of excitement. You know, who it could be anyone of the bottom 7 or 8 that can go down. That's what you call a healthy league. You know, not like every team that gets promoted are like getting 2 wins all season or something like that. That's just not right. Sorry, like. Ian Brown says, how long is left on Cirkin's contract? Do you know that, Richie?
No, I haven't got an idea.
I'll have to look at that one up. But to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter, does it, how long's left on players' contracts? Because if they're going to go, don't they?
Yeah. Be down to them. I can't say the club wanting to lose him. I think it will come down to him deciding what it is, but it's his club where he started off, isn't he? And that's where he's from. I'm sure Dennis Cirkin is from down London, isn't he? So might be just one of them, you know what I mean? But if he decides to leave, then fair enough.
Hey, it doesn't do. We've got Kevin Atkinson in the house.
On now. Nana said, tell us when you're on. I'm on now.
We're on now.
Right.
How are you doing? Are you all right, mate?
Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
Ah, you're fine, man. We'll let you off. Didn't worry about that. Yeah,
how are you doing, Ricky?
Sound, Kev, how are you doing, mate? You've been tracking the day or what?
I'm all right. Have you got over that flu?
Oh, we are.
I'll never call it COVID, just cold.
Aye, flu in it. That's all it is now, flu. But,
it is. Nobody gets cold anymore. Everyone gets COVID. No one gets cold.
Aye, Florida's though, Kev. It was wrong, like, mate. It took us a good week to get out of that.
I proper flu.
Egyptian flu, some sort of like, I don't know, some
it used to be called Spanish flu.
You what?
It used to be called Spanish flu.
Aye, that's it, aye.
There we go. So I'm just getting you set up now because you've joined the chat. So if you want to just chat amongst yourselves, I'm just going to bring Kev into the chat. So just bear with us a second if you're wondering what's going on.
Kev, we were talking about Dennis Cirkin, mate. What do you reckon? Like, do you reckon he'll go to Spurs?
I've said for half of last season that I think Dennis Cirkin will leave in pre-season. He's got a year left of his contract. He hasn't signed a new contract, which I think shows he's keeping his options open. And whether or not that option open was, do Sunderland go in the Premier League or not? However, now that we're there, I think it's a decision for him for his playing hours. I think if he stayed with Sunderland, he'd get a lot more hours in the or playing time in the Premier League. However, if he went back to Spurs, I kind of think he'd be back to where he was before he joined us. I don't think he's going to go into Spurs' first team. It depends of the ambition of the player. So Job moved on because he's got greater ambitions. Another player who's at risk is Dan Neil. You know, people have said that he's going to go to Liverpool or Everton. Or I do think that might be a step up in his career. However, Cirkin going back to Tottenham, I think would be a step back in his career. So the only way he'd go there is because of the money. because we can't give them a contract, or we won't give them a contract, money per week that they will. But would you be on 20 grand a week and play every week in the Premier League, or 30 grand a week and just play in the reserves? I think that's a show of character.
Yeah, it's a massive point. I mean, how long's he got left on his contract? Do you know, Kev? I mean, I've not looked at it.
His contract runs out next summer.
It runs out next summer.
Daniel's the same.
So we catch up on some of the chat. Dougie Stewart, the mod, says, welcome to the Mackem Cabbie, Davey, Kevin and Richie show. Thanks for your support. Cheers for helping out, Dougie. Hello to Finn, Eamon, Cabbie and a lot of you. He says, you're raring to go in the Premier League. Got a feeling yous will do a Forest. Hopefully, we join you soon. Push up Super Blues. I believe Finn, I think he's a Coventry fan. So, yeah, I mean, that's what we want. We want different teams in the Premier League doing well. I mean, crikey, it's about time. Jim N says, yeah, Cirkin has 12 months, same as Neil. Ian Brown says, cheers, Jim. Ian Brown says, Biscoff Biscuits looks like a good replacement for Cirkin if he does go. Tricia says, like and subscribe. Thank you. Colin Major says, Cabbie, wasn't it funny, Dave, and trying to park his mobility scooter the other day? Like he said to Kev, he always makes us laugh. Oh, dear me. Hello, Steve Taylor. How are you, Bonnie lad? He says, good evening, guys. If we keep selling our better players, we are going to struggle. Possible signings will look at us and think, I'm not going to sign for a team or selling their better players. Yeah, I mean, that's what seems to be at the minute. More interest in our players going out than what's coming in. But there's no question of a doubt we do need to strengthen, don't we?
Why?
All right. So, what was your dad trying to do? What was Davey trying to do with his scooter? Was he just trying to park at one of the bays?
I did not. I went along to the garage with him, which is near his. And all the way there, I've got his two dogs, which are 14-year-olds, so they've only got a basic walking pace. But he's away on his scooter, so I'm trying to get the dogs to speed up, get my dad to slow down. He doesn't know what I'm saying. And we get to the garage, and he's that far ahead. And I'm like, what's he doing? And he bypassed all of the other parking spaces. And I was like, is he going to blow his tyres up? And sure enough, he was going to blow his tyres up on his scooter.
It was just funny. He was here, where are you going, father? And he's still just carrying on in his own way. If you'd let him carry on, he would have gone down the M1, wouldn't he?
He's never listened to me all his life, so he's not going to start now.
Oh, dear me. Sophie Aki is popped in. How you doing, Sophie? I was having a bit crack on with her the other day. I can't remember what it was about. He says, we're going to get on the big Nana's takeover tonight.
She might pop in at the end.
She might pop in at the end, aye. Hey, Sophie, you're more than welcome to pop on, you know. Join us. How are you, man?
She looks the spitting double of me. Well, not spitting double of me. She's about 25 stone lighter, but she's got the Aki face.
Oh, you've got to have the Aki face, man. Gazette S2, hello, how are you doing? This is the only time there'll be 11 player field in the Premier League is when a wage cap is enforced and teams start getting charged for overspending. Does FFP not count for the top teams in the Premier League? Yeah, that's a good point. The FFP, is there certain clubs it doesn't apply to in the Premier League? The fact, like, because you look in the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool and that, they seem to just spend hundreds and hundreds of millions. But the other
Chelsea sold their old women's team to them, didn't they? So that's how they got around the PIF ruling. I'm sure that was something I read. It was something sly in the background how they got away with it, because I was thinking, how have they spent all that money to bring in all these players and the rest of the teams can't do it? There's got to be something behind closed doors, and that's what apparently they did. They sold their own women's team to themselves.
Hello, John Nesbitt. You're right, mate. They do that, Richie. Like, and I just think it's part of a big cog where if you're really clever with what you're doing, like naming rights at stadiums and certain sponsors, and which is what they're trying to put an end to. But I think what Chelsea did was they had one summer where they just spent almost £1 billion in the kind of acceptance that the next 2 years they couldn't really do much. The spending limits of each club is determined by your revenue ultimately. So we've got into the Premier League and we're at the bottom half of revenue, and however we're a lot better in revenue than Bournemouth and Brentford and these teams that have stabilised themselves in the middle of the league. So I think next season is about staying in the league. Every season after that is about building in the league. But next season determines where the club goes. You either stay in the league or you don't. I'll be completely happy with fourth bottom, staying in the league, with the idea that our owners and the plan is to build in that league over the next 3 or 4 years. And I truly believe that if we stay in the league next year, over the next 3 or 4 years, we will become a top 10 Premier League club.
We'll have been accepted by the Premier League. We'll be part of the clique. We'll be part of the clan. We'll be part of the party, rather than just we've come in out the back door and well, you can stay for a little while, but then you're going to have to leave. That's what it feels like at the minute, doesn't it?
Do or die.
Yeah.
Or start again. Or I don't think the club really expected to be in the Premier League this season. I said before the season ended, I think we're probably a year or two ahead of schedule, and I still believe that. So if we go down next season, I think we've planned for that well before now.
I mean, you're not guaranteed, to go from strength to strength. The more you stay in the Premier League, we were in for 7 years. It didn't do us any. We eventually we got relegated. Same way Leicester City, they won the title, for heaven's sake. They got relegated. So it doesn't really matter about the longer you stay in the Premier League, the more of a chance you got to staying up. It's a lot of it's also got to do with as well how your club's ran, isn't it? It's got to be.
We're different now than what we were then. Completely different.
I was just going to bring up there that we're bringing in that new sporting director now, and this guy was supposedly Fiorentina, Newcastle, and Juventus wanted them as their sporting directors as well, and it looks like he's chose Sunderland. Now, if that is not saying like we're looking to invest with the right sort of players and the right sort of personnel in the background, I think that's a massive statement from the club. And somebody is like a big profile is what this guy is. I think he's from Roma, isn't he? Mm-hmm. I don't know his name because I know it's a foreign name and I can't remember his name. But I think it's a hell of a statement to make. Like, hey, right, we're here and we're going to be trying everything we can to survive next season. First stop, let's get somebody in who knows what they're talking about. Let's get somebody in who's got the experience, who's got like channels and things that he can open up to the bigger clubs. So that's a mint move by the club. That though.
I agree with you. Like, building the club isn't just about building the team on the pitch. I'd never heard of that guy until we were interested in him, and then I looked back and read up, and he's the person who's signed Lafite for Roma. But he's very, very well respected within the European club market, let's say. And if we're not going to go out and spend 50, 60, 70 million on Premier League proven players, we have to go and fish in the market where we can pick 20, 30 million pound players up that really, if they were in the Premier League, they'd be 60 or 70. That's a risk on our half. However, if you've got the right person in the right position, the risk becomes less. And I think that's what the clubs went out and did. And when I seen he was coming to the club, one thing I never expected to feel was, oh shit, does that mean Speakman's away? Now, a year and a half ago, had someone like I've been coming into the club, I would probably went, champions, Speakman's away. When we couldn't sign a striker and everyone was on his back and everything like that, I would have been happy for Speakman to be away. However, seeing what he's done now and the fact he's bringing someone like that into the club to support probably is what he does on a day-to-day basis, can only stand the club in good stead. Like, who knows where Speakman's going to go? I'm going to suspect he's going to take a step back. But the fact that we need recruitment, we need really smart recruitment for the money that we've got. I think we needed someone who knows the players in the European market.
Just catch up on the
20 million.
Yeah, 20 million.
I feel nervous about that. Like, I feel nervous that we're spending 20 million on someone in the Ukraine League. Is that as good as the Championship? Is it as good as League One? Don't really know. But 20 million is a lot of money for a risk. However, if it pays off, I feel like we've got the right people advising the right people now compared to when we signed Rusin, for argument's sake.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
If we sign someone, I'm confident now that that person is going to add to the squad rather than be a Rusin.
I'm just going to catch up on the chat a second. Good points there, Kev. Let's see, Finn, the Coventry fan, he says, I reckon Sunderland will be okay now yous have got there. I really, really hope so, mate. D. Hall says, Chelsea sold academy players Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher and Lewis Hall for fees, which was pure profit. They could reinvest as well. And Tricia says, please like and subscribe. Let's see if we can get to 5,000 subscribers. Oh, a long way to go, but thank you very much, Tricia. Lewis, hello, says, last team to survive was Notts Forest. Their blueprint was to sign 28 players. Can Sunderland do that? John Nesbitt, hello. How are you? Says, wishful thinking to think we will survive with Speakman in charge of recruitment. He won't pay the going rate for players, but wants top dollar for his players. He says he's a bizarre bloke. Ian Brown says, the sporting director is a proper Mackem already. He has great contacts. It's important to bring him in before any signings are made. Gaza says, but it's the wages, not just the signing on fee. Gishofi is French, knows Regis Debris and gets on with KLD. The French connection, says Jim N. Dougie Stewart says, I do, Trisha, like my modding on TikTok. The great music DJ Stevie plays. Anyway, I mean, yeah, you went on about like that Ukrainian play. I mean, a lot of people are just talking about. They just straight away think Rusin, don't they? But you know, not everybody's a Rusin, but everybody's just thinking about Rusin. How like he just didn't fit in, did he? When he came to the club, he just wasn't
Rusin,
right for the club.
Like he never once ever that he was at the club did you think, oh, he's coming on from the bench, get in. He was just I think a panicked buy at the time, a bit like a Will Grigg or he was just a panicked buy at the time.
It took him ages to get here as well, didn't it?
It did. I didn't know if he was trying to get through customs by speaking English. That took 3 months to get there. I don't know. But not every Ukrainian player is a Rusin. There's plenty of Ukrainian players around Europe who are worth 40, 50 million quid. However, bringing in a striker from that league who's done pretty well does not transpire into scoring 20 goals in the Premier League. And Sunderland need a 20-goal striker next season, I believe, to stay up.
Without a doubt. Hello, Peter Lisbriel. Good evening. Hope you are well. Good to see you. It's just as vital to have a solid defence, but you've got to have someone to have any chance of staying up. You do need someone who could possibly get you 20 goals in that season or whatever. Like, I mean, we don't know if Mienda's going to cut it, but he's got the making of it. he could be an absolute pain in the backside to Premier League sides. But another problem is, let's say, Mienda comes and he's like banging the goals in left, right, and centre. It's a keeping hold of him because the other clubs in the Premier League will be wanting to snap him up, won't they? And this is somebody mentioned in the cabbie in the chat about the wages as well as it's not so much a sign-on fee. That's what's unfair as well. You just can't compete. It's like, let's say Mienda's on 80 grand a week or something at the stadium of like, he's scoring goals for fun. Sunderland are like, mid-table, top half of the table. Liverpool knock on the door, Arsenal, Man City, and this and that, the other. Do you want to come to us? You know what I mean? And £300,000 a week. How can you compete with that? You're just not going to get it, are you? You're just not going to compete with that.
I suspect that every single player in that team this season had in their contracts an improved weekly wage. If you get promoted, your wage will be this amount. You're not going to have, I don't think the clubs are stupid to have a situation where they've got this young team in the Premier League and everyone's playing for less than £1,000 a week. Or, look at it, we've signed Lafay. His wages before he signed for us was 60-odd grand a week. He has not took a pay cut to come and play for Sunderland, I'll guarantee you now.
No.
So that heightens the wage threshold. And I think Speakman's already come out and said, we had a plan for League One, the Championship and the Premiership. Part of that plan will be we pay more wages. You have to. Like, they're not idiots. You're going to have to pay 50, 60, 70 grand a week to some people. However, I think they're clever enough to have in their contract that if you get relegated, it goes to this, this, and this. The same as this season being, if you got promoted, it goes to this, this, and this. So I don't think paying the wages will be a problem. And I think we are a really attractive club to young, passionate players who want to progress. I said a couple of weeks ago, we're a club who want people who, look, let's use us as a stepping stone. Let's use Sunderland as a stepping stone from where they're at now to where they want to be. Because that creates hunger, desire. That's all right. No, we were a stepping stone for Bellingham from Birmingham to Sunderland to Dortmund. What's wrong with that? As long as we've got people coming into the club who really want to make an effort, and really want to play, and really want to improve themselves, what's wrong with that? You can let them go in 2 or 3 years' time. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Finn just says, I'm surprised you haven't gone for Hadji Wright. He would probably get 20 goals with that Sunderland team. And Gazza replied, says, you can't. Gazza replied with that. Ian Brown's replied. He says, we are staying away from the Championship market. Do you think that'll be a good move for Sunderland if they just avoided stay away from Championship players? Full stop. Do we need to look higher than that? No disrespect to anybody in the Championship, but what do you reckon?
Look, in my eyes, if they're good enough, then they're good enough. It doesn't matter what league they're in. You know what I mean? Look at what happened with Jamie Vardy. You know what I mean? Come from non-league football now. He won the Premier League with Leicester City, just as an example. You know what I mean? There's decent players in the Championship. Definitely is players that can compete in the Premiership. But we've got to remember, we're not aiming to finish in these European spots or aiming to finish in the top half of the table. We're aiming just to survive next season. So if they're good enough in my eyes, bring them in. You know what I mean? If they can do a job. And then, like Kev says, you know what I mean? We might get a few players that might use our club as a stepping stone, and they might move on to bigger teams out there as well. But why not? If they're good enough, let's be honest, right? And I said it last season, the Championship is one of the most competitive leagues in the whole of Europe. And I don't, honestly, everybody's got their own opinion, but I believe that is the case. I believe the Championship is just as good as some of the biggest leagues out there. Look at the French league. PSG win that league constantly, season after season. You can predict the top 3 teams. The rest of the teams are not that great out there, and there's Championship teams that can compete with those French teams in the top division. So bring them in if they're good enough. That's all I can say.
Yeah, good point. Good point, Richie. He's going to catch up on the chat as well. Gaza says you can't compete with that with the wages. He says that's why Premier League is so unfair, and nothing gets done by the powers that be. I mean, it's massively important for the Premier League. Some people say that they keep feeding the big clubs, the big six that we all like to call it, because the fact it's the big six that bring the revenue into the Premier League.
Who are the big six? Who are the big six, Cabbie?
The big six, I would say, is Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Sunderland, and
Nice.
I would say it was the other one. I know I say Man United because they're in the bottom half.
Look, everyone looks at Man United as a top six club.
They do.
Top six club. Arsenal top six. Chelsea top six. Man City.
Chelsea, that's the other team. Chelsea, that's the other team. Chelsea.
Well, 100% not Newcastle.
Who were they?
I still think Newcastle are a really good championship side that's overachieving season on season.
He's looking for trouble on this channel here. Like, he's looking for people to come on here and start.
You know why? Because I now like some of my mates watch this now. These are the arguments that I have.
They do.
So the other week, you all agreed with them when I said, is Newcastle a top six club? And you all agreed. And they were straight on the phone. Say, Kev, you don't know what you're talking about. Even your friends agree. I just thought when you brought that up there, Cabbie, I would just highlight that you don't think Newcastle are a top six club.
Other shite. I'm just going to finish off the messages off. Ian Brown says West Ham will want Mjenda after that Michael Antonio incident. Colin says I think Mjenda will fly in the Premier League. John Nesbitt says Speakman, if what we are hearing won't go above the club's wage levels, so that tells me they're after lesser players. If anyone thinks that Ukrainian striker will get 5 goals, they are deluded. Finn says fair enough, Ian. This is about the Championship players. Although he'd do better for than us, better service. Hello to Bong, good to see you, El Bong, and he says we want Jack Rudini. He says, where he's flying in. Bong says get lost. He says, but he's in the Championship. No, I mean everybody's entitled to the opinion, but there is some quality players in that Championship. But we're going back to the Premier League. It's like they rely on the big six for bringing the revenue in, don't it? It's a global thing, you know what I mean? And it's important for the Premier League to keep feeding the big six, to be up there. Let's face it, the Premier League's as powerful as it is because of the big clubs in there. Without a shadow of a doubt, a worldwide audience watches the Premier League when there's the big games, whether it's the Arsenals against Chelsea and the Man United against Liverpool, etc., etc. Because people have spoken about the Premier League would be better if the Big Six went into a Super League, but it wouldn't be better because financially the Premier League would collapse without the Big Six. Globally, they would just lose interest without the Big Six. As much as I hate saying it, but it's a fact. Unfortunately. Yes, it's unfair. They're getting all this and they're getting all that and they're miles ahead. But the Premier League wouldn't be the Premier League without them. Do you guys agree? Or do you think the Premier League wouldn't miss them if they did go?
No, I agree. The Premier League is not the Premier League without them teams in it. And I'm not being funny. Let's say that we were Liverpool supporters. Let's say we were Man City supporters. Would we be happy that we're in a league where you've got to jump on a plane to go to Spain or Italy or France or Germany to watch your team play? I wouldn't be happy with that. I wouldn't. As exciting as it might be at the start, eventually the novelty wears off. It's a novelty idea. I don't think it's a long-term thing. You've got the Club World Cup on at the minute. I think that's the closest thing that we should ever get to teams in our league competing with other teams, other than being in the Champions League or Europe or anything like that.
Well, nobody seems to be interested in the Club World Cup. I've yet to see more than 10 people in the stadium. It just goes to show you what people think of it. You know, it's white elephant, man. Honest to God. I mean, I've not watched one match. I like me football, I do, but I'm just not interested in it. I'm not.
So have you not watched Bellingham play for Dortmund?
I've not watched it, no. I know he scored. I'm more interested in how well the under-21s are doing in the Euros there through the semi-final. I think, is it the semi-final or is it the quarter-final? I think they're playing... who do they play next?
Semis, aye.
Because they beat
Germany, didn't they, the other night?
They beat Spain. No, it was Spain they beat.
Oh, Spain, aye, that's right, aye.
Was it 2-1 or 3-1, was it?
3-1, I think it was, Cabbie.
And of course, they're defending the champions. And I know we're talking about England briefly, secondly, but it's funny, isn't it, how like the younger generations of England seem to be doing really, really good, bringing home the major trophies and stuff. Why can't that carry on into the main team? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like it's weird.
I think younger players in general are doing better in the men's game.
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to say 10 years ago, where people who were 26 to 32 were the best players in the world. I think that's changed a little bit now, where if you're 20 to 25 is probably the age where the best players in the world are now. Mm-hmm. It's getting younger and younger and younger, proved by us last season with the youngest team in the championship. I think the age of expectation is getting younger and younger.
It is, and I think as well with the kids, they're there more to prove a point, aren't they? Without a shadow of a doubt, they're there to prove a point. You know,
I think they're there because they're good enough and they're given the opportunity now. Whereas before, they weren't maybe given the opportunity. Rooney probably has been the exception at a young age, in my lifetime anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephen Taylor says England play Netherlands in the semi-final. Dougie says it's not how much you spend the money, but how wisely you do it. Oh, well, yeah, because Sunderland made that mistake where they were under the short era, they were just splashing out millions and millions on absolute junk. And that really put us in a bad place. Good evening, Ken Walton. He's a member of the channel. He's been a member for such a long time. Good to see you, mate. Lewis says Newcastle Villa are actually doing the Premier League a favour by competing with a big six. Peter Lesbiel says the only good thing about Newcastle is the road out of it. Okay, 50 million and we get Rig. Yeah, I've heard that as well. There's rumours of like Riggy boy, and there's a lot of Sunderland fans saying I don't think they'd miss Rig if he'd went like, but God, it's a big step up for Rig for the Premier League, innit? It's a massive step up for Riggy.
Whether he's going to be able to cope with the physicality, because you're disrespecting the kid, you know what I mean? There's been players out there who are tiny, you know, look at Lionel Messi, you know what I mean? Smallest guy ever, but he was just unbelievable. But Chris Rigg just doesn't have the physicality to play in midfield in the Premier League. Like, you'll get eaten alive. Imagine him coming up the likes of like Onana and, massive centre defensive midfielders in the Premier League. He's just going to get absolutely smashed to bits. But I wouldn't like to see him leave the club, but I think if we can get cover, maybe a loan might do him a little bit, a world of good, get him out for a loan for a season. But would he be happy with that because it's going to have an opportunity for him to play in the Premier League? I don't know about Chris Rigg. I can't make my mind up about him. There's pluses and negatives, isn't there? I mean, he's only 17, 18 still. We haven't seen the best from him yet, but I don't think he's got it for the Premier League. Like,
I mean, the way to judge, and I don't know whether because we're a completely different side then, but I always go back to the FA Cup when Newcastle beat us 3-0. They gave us a kicking, let's face it. They absolutely destroyed us. Can you say, is that an indication what it could be like with Sunderland in the Premier League? I mean, or how much is Sunderland a different side now compared to that time when we played them. I mean, Jack Clark, he got eaten up. All the players did that just didn't get a look in.
Okay, so the team that we had when we played Newcastle in that January, I think it was, would you see that team get promoted last season like we did?
I don't think there's a hell chance that team would have got promoted against Newcastle. This is what some of the fans have been saying.
No one knew who the manager was. The players were all aware. It's a completely different animal now, Sunderland now, to when we played Newcastle. I have zero fear about playing Newcastle. One, it's a derby day. The atmosphere changes. What I believe is the ability of some players. Some players do get lost in the occasion. Again, I'll go back to having a young team. I think that works in our favour. However, the team that played Newcastle over a year and a half ago is nothing like the team that will play Newcastle this season. Nowhere near.
I do agree. Do you agree with that, Richie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Plus, we had Michael Beale as well, possibly one of the worst managers that we've ever had. You know what I mean? So, no, I'm with you.
Manager. I forget he had a proportion of my life as our manager. I forget that. Like, I feel like it was like someone who just popped in off the bus, got off the bus at the Richie, went to the stadium, somehow got a job, got found out and fucked off back on the bus. That's how I feel about Michael Beale. He went to the town with the spoons and got done in.
He talks the talk. He talks the talk, doesn't he, Michael Beale? He's well known for that. Like, Paul Graham's just says, Kev, how's your dad, mate? Do you want to give everybody an update how your dad's doing?
My dad's all right. It's a big day tomorrow. My dad had a scan last week on his brain, and we get the results tomorrow. So tomorrow feels like I don't know, a crossroads, or I don't know how to put it, but tomorrow's a massive day for my dad and the family.
How often does he get these scans for progress, Kev?
So the last scan he had was when he was pretty much first diagnosed, which was the start of April. This scan that we're getting is a scan that we got told we couldn't have. So because we knocked back the chemo, the hospital said we couldn't have this scan. However, I somehow went on to Newcastle BBC Radio and spoke about all of the NHS's inability to do anything for us, and they agreed this would be his last scan. However, on the condition, if he's shown improvement from the medication we've been giving him, he can't have any more treatment or scans because it's too late for chemo. However, if we go and there's been no improvement, it's got worse, they still can't help us because it's beyond the time that they'll offer chemo. So no matter what happens tomorrow, whether it's good news or bad news, the hospital cannot help you. Amazing. However, we're hoping we're going to go there tomorrow, and at the very least, there's no further growth is our hope. And if it has gone the other way and reduced, oh my God, like it's such a big day tomorrow where, I don't know, it just feels like there's been a huge pressure on the family to know whether what we're doing is good or bad. We don't know. And tomorrow will give us some indication. However, beyond tomorrow, every 2 months, we'll be going to a private hospital for the scans and consultations, and so we can monitor what we're doing. No matter what the result tomorrow, we'll not be giving up on my dad.
I was going to say you can go private for the scans and that. I mean, the GoFundMe page is doing all right. Is that all helping as well with this?
It's a huge help. I mean, people other than the scans, my sister's in charge of all of the medication and this and that, and the amount of time it takes to find suppliers of certain things, because you can't buy them in the UK, you've got to go to India and America and trust people, and it's a massive thing. I'm doing a challenge, the Yorkshire Three Peaks on
that's right, yeah.
5th of July. I've got about 10 people doing that from all over the country. I'm linking up with another charity who raise funds for people in my dad's position to get things like mobility chairs and things like that. We're linking up together and we're going to do that together. And it's just about, for the fundraiser that we've got for my dad is so that we have the possibility or the option of having alternative treatments and medication there for my dad. Otherwise, we can't do it. We can research things, we can look things up and go, this would work for me dad. However, if you haven't got the resources to implement it, you're just researching 24 hours a day and getting more and more angry and frustrated. What the GoFundMe has done for us is allowed us to pursue what we believe is true, or what we believe may help me. It's allowed us to pursue that. And tomorrow is a big answer on all of that. My dad is actually doing better than what he was 3 or 4 weeks ago. So 3 or 4 weeks ago, my dad was struggling to have a even conversation with you. He was so manic. All these words was coming out that no one understood what he meant or anything like that. He was obsessed with betting and going out and staying in and car and not the car, and it was weird. However, over the last couple of weeks, we've changed his medication against the hospital advice, but we've changed his steroids and this and that, and my sister's been amazing with all that. And he's come more and more back to the Davey that all of us know. His crack, his banter, understanding what we're saying. Sometimes he does get words wrong. We can laugh about that now. You know, when we're together, we laugh about it. He's the first person to laugh when he says a word that, like caravan instead of carrot. He's the first person to laugh. Whereas before, he just didn't know. So I see a big improvement in my dad over the last few weeks. However, tomorrow will be the pivotal thing, and I just pray and hope, and I have this gut feeling it's going to be okay.
Well, I've just bear with a second. Where are we at? Oh, that's gone off again. Right, I'm just putting a picture of the GoFundMe now onto the page, so everybody can now see it on the chat. So I'm just going to put it up there and leave it on just for a few seconds. As you can see, it says Dad's Fight, and there's a staggering £2,755 being raised, which is all massively helping to the cause. So you can have a look at that briefly there. And what I will do now is I will, on the chat, where we got, I will put, that's a link to the GoFundMe page, and I am now putting that, I'm pinning that to the top. So if anybody wants to see, or if you want to share it away, please share as much as you can and get as much money in as possible to help Davey and his family. And like I say, you don't have to donate. I mean, it'll help even just getting the link and getting the awareness and getting the FundMe page shared out there. That would also be a massive, massive help. How are the lads? Hello to Geordie, is a friend of the channel, a Newcastle fan. Hope you're doing well. Sophie Aki says, Granda has been so overwhelmed by the support and love shown to him. We all have high hopes for tomorrow. We have all seen big change in him in the past few weeks for the better, which is a good sign. Tricia says...
Also said that my dad watches all of these podcasts, all of them. He watches all of these other podcasts about Sunderland. My dad is up from 2 o'clock in the morning until 4. Then he goes to bed for an hour. Then he's up from 5 o'clock in the morning all day until he naps in the afternoon. That's the way his life is at the minute. And when he gets up during the night, this is what he does. He logs on to all the podcasts and Sunderland stuff, and he sees all of these get well messages and good wishes, and it really, really helps him. Like when my mum, he might have been up for an hour, and my mum will come in and go, "Hey, Jan, look at this. Hey, Jan, look at this. Look at this." Everyone talking about us. And before he'd be seeing that as a little bit big-headed, whereas now he's seeing it like, I don't want to say like a kid, but if you know what I mean, he's a genuine excitement rather than, no, I don't even want to say cockiness about it. But
feels like he's well supported.
It's like he's realizing it for the first time. If that makes sense, do you know what I mean? Like he's bewildered by it. And it really, really helps. So all the well wishes go a long, long way beyond this channel. It's my dad looking at it in 4 or 5 days' time.
Going to read to the well wishes. Davey Walker says, "We are all behind you." Davey Paul Graham says, "I'll be thinking of you all like everybody is." Dougie says, "Fingers crossed for tomorrow. Hope it's good news." Steve Taylor says, "Can you put out a video tomorrow or Wednesday to let us know of any of the news about Dave?" Well, I mean, obviously that is up to Kev if he wants to share that information or let us know what's going on. But we'll definitely won't we, Kev, let everybody know what's happening. What time is he scanned tomorrow?
So we're at the hospital around 3 o'clock.
Sorry, he's talk about the results, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah. So between 3 and 5 tomorrow at the hospital. I'm not. Although I will be personally going inside the appointment for different reasons, I'll not be sharing a video of inside the appointment. However, I will obviously. What I'll do is tomorrow I'll make a video to update everyone, and then you can post it to the page, Cabbie.
I find that. Well, Rich, he does quite a lot of vlogs for the channel, and he just sends me them on Messenger, don't you, Richie? And then I just post them up, which has been they've been quite successful. So yeah, if you wanted to do that, Kev, then I could just post it up. Colin Majors also says, "Kev, give him my love," and I'm sure I speak for everybody on the channel. So you broke up at my end a bit.
Sorry to interrupt you, Cabbie. You know when you do your video though, Kev, if you're going to send it on Messenger, make sure it's no longer than 11 minutes, otherwise it just doesn't send. I worked that one out a few weeks ago and I was going, why is this not sending? So as long as it's like 11 minutes, that'll do that way, but Cabbie's kind of the way that you get
too big, isn't it?
You can send it on like...
It might be 5.
You can send it on WeTransfer if it's a bigger video. You can upload it onto this website and then you send me the link and then I download it off that website. What time again is it when you get told again, Kev? What time's your appointment?
I believe the appointment's about 3:30. So between 3:30 and 6 o'clock, we'll be kind of know what's going on.
Are you going to the hospital or is it the doctors for that? Or
we're going to the hospital at James Cook down in Hartlepool, which is the hospital that he's been assigned to, which is the specialist hospital for what he's got. That'll be our last visit to that hospital ever.
Right.
Which is unbelievable. I still find it unbelievable. But yeah, this is our last visit to the hospital that is meant to be there to care for you ever. Fucking hell.
Trisha's put a good point up there. She says, I can send it WhatsApp. She says it doesn't have a limit. WhatsApp does have a limit, but it's a lot higher. I think WhatsApp lets you post something up around about 19 minutes. Anything over that, it won't let you do it, but it has got a bigger limit and stuff. I mean, I spoke to you. I phoned your mum up on Saturday, and I was on the phone to her for nearly an hour, having a crack on to your mum, and she was like telling us loads of stuff and that, and your dad in the background sounded absolutely class. you know what I mean? He just sounded like just normal Davey. To be fair, he was like she was telling us about the carry on with the chair that she got. I said, like, your dad just looks a bit like Jim Royal sitting in his chair in that corner.
He does, right? He does.
Is he shouting you, Anthony? Tell you get the biscuits out, Kev.
My dad seemed to lose the knowledge of winding people up, which was what he was always good at. He seemed to lose that from finding out what was wrong up until about 2 weeks ago. He seemed to lose that ability to wind someone up. But now when I ring them pretty much every night, video call. The first thing he does is wind me up. When he'll answer the phone or my mum will answer the phone, he'll wind me up. For me, that's my dad. That's not the brain tumour, which is what I've had for the last couple of months, where I'm dealing with the brain tumour rather than my dad. So I feel really positive about my, there's a 95% chance tomorrow we'll get bad news. However, that 5%, I just feel like my dad did about Sunderland getting promoted last season, put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just got a phone call coming in from Moscow. I don't know what the hell's that. Bloody Putin. Bloody Moscow ringing us. Get to man, whatever it is. But no, it was good to hear him in the background, because it was your mum that was on the phone, and he does want to get back on this show. He's itching to get back on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He does want to get back on do the podcasts, because I think before his diagnostics, I think he done about he's done a good 20 odd shows, if not more, Kev.
Oh, easy. And he did 2 or 3 after he knew. Well, he didn't know what the situation was. However, after he'd been in hospital, he did about 2 or 3 shows after that.
Yeah.
And we were kind of encouraging one, but then it got to the point where he was too tired, or he didn't want to come on because things, his speech changed and things like that. But look, for me, my dad's the best he has been for the last month right now. So I can only be hopeful.
Absolutely, and it's hope that keeps you going without a doubt. And like I say, it was just nice when I was chatting to your mum. Like, your dad was like, they've been sitting out in the garden with the ducks, and your mum was telling me, it's like the neighbours further up the street goes daft because of all the duck shite that gets left up the top of the road and that. So it's a big day for Davey and his family. So tomorrow, so wish you all the massive luck for that. I mean, people are always messages on my YouTube channel asking how Davey is and stuff. So hello, Davey, how you doing, and the rest of your family, and how's your chair doing? So we're coming up to the end of the show. It's absolutely flown in. Tricia says, I said it before, that if love gets him through, then it will. Absolutely. And Stevie says, thanks, Kev. That is brill. Tricia also. Gillian Angus says, big love to Big Davey. Tricia says, Sophie Aki, honestly, he's well loved by us all. There's not much I can physically do, Sophie, but if you want someone to rant, ask Cabbie for my number. Mackem Pastor Alex has just popped in. Says, best wishes to Davey. And obviously that's Davey's #1 fan, the pastor.
Yeah. Yeah. Talks about them all the time.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Every time the pastor came on, Davey used to just all right, pastor, how you doing? Get loud.
As if he needed to shout for here in Africa.
You know that. Colin says, Kev, your dad is a legend on this show, and I always will be. Like I say, he does want to come back on, Davey, doesn't he? But he's we just let things need to settle down and see what's what and what's going. I mean, he did amazing, Davey, when he went on in the studio at Total Sport. I thought he really did well on that.
He did, and it was a worry for us and it wasn't a worry for me dad. It was more us kind of. Had I not been able to sit there beside him, I don't think he would have went on. However, when he was on, he was fantastic. So maybe he's putting it all on. Maybe it's just a big act for loads of attention.
Pixel Rich says, "Nice to catch up with you all again. Best wishes to Davey." Pixel Rich he's often on here as well. Tricia says, Mackem Pasta Alex, VPA Uganda, get praying, we need it for Davey. Legend is too small a name, more of a god for Davey, and that it's like, it was just mad how I got him on the channel. I put a short video of like a 3-minute clip of Davey on Total Sport, and I went, listen to this character here on Total Sport, and somebody, I don't know if it was, I think it was you, Kev, that possibly messaged us and says, oh, that was my dad, that. I'm sure it was, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then Davey was messaging us under the name of Janet.
They share everything. They share everything. Everything's in my mum's name, and my dad just jumps on and uses it.
I thought it was funny when it was on Valentine's Day, and I said, "Are you taking the missus out anywhere?" He just went, "Had a win, shite, man." But that's what he said. Had a win, shite. You know, he went like, win, man, had a win, shite with that. He says, he's not a romantic.
She gets enough. He would say she gets enough.
He's not a romantic then.
Man, he can be when he's done something wrong.
I thought that was funny, man. All right, I'm just about coming to the end of the show. Thanks everybody for tuning in as well on the chat. We did peak at about 50 people, which is great for off season. It really, really is. What you lot doing tonight?
I'm just chilling. Go on, Richie.
No, I'm just gonna chill. I think maybe stick the Xbox on for an hour or something. I've got the mounts next in FIFA, so I might have a few games of that. Like, but what I will say though is I hope it goes well for you tomorrow, Kev, and for the rest of your family as well. And Davey, if you're watching, I'm always thinking about you, buddy, and I'm missing you on here as well, mate. And like I said to Kev, I hope it goes really well for you tomorrow as well, buddy. Take it easy, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Couldn't have said it better.
For me, I've just arrived at Nana's, so no doubt I've got some sort of food coming. What is it, Nana?
Curry rice and chips.
Curry rice and chips.
Are you fetching her on for a couple of minutes, Kev? Are you going to bring her on to say good night to all the viewers?
Just said, for fuck's sake. Just say a quick hello.
Hi, Curry.
Hello, how are you doing?
Oh.
Are you well? You move your face, move your face along a little bit. We cannot see you.
Come closer to my face.
Oh, I'll fucking kill you in a minute, yeah.
Oh, there we go. You've got your makeup on.
No, makeup on. You say that now, Cabbie.
What you having for tea, Gladys? What you having? Curry and chips, you say?
Chicken curry and rice and chips.
Oh, chicken curry and as if my bitch tits needs to grow any bigger thinking about food like that.
You know, like the bread buns that you put in the oven.
The crusty buns and all.
Oh, nice.
Are you talking about Kev's crusty buns, or is that what you're cooking?
There's no naan bread, just crusty buns.
There's no naan bread. You're getting bread made by naan.
I'm super jealous, me.
Yes, Gladys.
Curry rice and chips.
For a couple of days is normal.
You are Gladys?
What's going on when I come here?
What did you say there, Gladys? I didn't hear you.
I say he's gonna get spoilt while he's here for a couple of days.
Neither wonder he comes there all the time.
Well, I can't get fucking rid of him now. Little man, blowing gibbets.
Aye.
Aye.
There you go. There's a crazy woman for 5 minutes.
Aye. It's good to be crazy. It wouldn't change the world.
I'll get me dinner warmed up now.
Warming up.
That's class. It's like Alf Garnett when he's talking to his missus, man. It's funny. I'm gonna have a see you later, Gladys. Good to see you as always. Everybody's just saying best wishes. Jim says best wishes, Davey. Ian Brown says see you next Monday. Good night, chin up, Davey, says John. Thanks for the update on your dad. I'm going to throw my laptop out the window because he's having problems with sound, says Trisha. Mackem Pastor Alex says I'm making a mud cake. Best wishes and all well for Davey. Tomorrow, enjoy your mud cake. And is Kev getting strangled, says Dougie. God, there's just everybody's just saying best wishes. Peter Lisbeal says love and wishes from Davey from Guernsey. Great show. And don't forget, when this video ends, there's still the comments come flooding in. And Pixelovich says gan on Gladys. He says absolute class.
Hold on, I think we know what's the final word talking now.
Yes, hello there, hello.
But to tell you, Kevin, I'm going to stop around with Davey and Jan for a few days.
Don't you go...
God help Davey and Jan.
I tell you what, Gladys, didn't it be gone sitting in Davey's chair? There'll be World War III, man.
So he'll be getting fucking spoiled when I can.
Aye, make sure if you sit in Davey's chair, that'll be World War... Forget about Donald Trump, Iran, it'll be World War III and you were in Davey's house.
Like the blind leading the blind, Cabbie.
Oh, fantastic.
I just thought I'd let you know where I is.
Do you like being called Gladys, Gladdy, or Gladioli? What do you like being called?
Gladioli.
What? She doesn't fucking care, she said.
Oh, class. Gladioli. Freaking fantastic. Well, cheers. Thanks to everybody for popping in. Cheers, Richie. Cheers, Gladys. And Kev, go and enjoy your curry. I'm going off upstairs now. Our summer needs a bath because she's going to Lord's Cricket Ground tomorrow because...
Wow, nice.
Yeah, she's got... On Wednesday, I think. I don't know if is it Sue? It's either tomorrow or Wednesday. She's got table cricket, and she's reached the final. Her team from her school, so she's going to London tomorrow, which is like Lord's is the Wembley of all the cricket grounds. So best of luck for Summer and our team tomorrow.
Yes, well, good luck, Summer.
Cheers. Listen, lads, you guys are stars. Thanks very much. Kev, all the best for tomorrow, mate. I'll be thinking every single second of the day tomorrow. Richie, you're a star as well. Thanks. And enjoy the rest of your night. And thanks, everybody, for popping in.
And if I never see you through the week, I'll see you through the week.